Hello, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Week 3.
We are back for episode 3, my man.
Let's go.
Cool. Shall we start with drinks?
Our sponsored drinks.
Well, they're not really sponsored.
So not sponsored. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
We wish.
It's our own drink. Show it to the camera.
Yeah.
From 3 different angles.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have 2 new cameras today we're doing. So yeah.
This is a drink, Norwich Internationals. Definitely not Stella.
Yeah.
And it's made in Norwich, 2024, as you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, good shit.
Cheers.
Good apple juice. Oh, we also have a bunch of
Jaffa cakes,
Yes.
misshapes,
yes.
all
And,
the imperfect ones.
we're gonna see at the end of the podcast who's gonna eat them more.
Probably you. That's number 1. We're starting off.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we have talked about food, Jaffa cakes, but I think today we should do a food episode.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting to do this for a while.
I mean, we did talk about this a while, and we did just have dinner together. I
Yes.
made a German-Austrian dish.
Is it German?
It's German, yeah. Kartoffelrösti.
Okay.
It's German, Austrian, Swiss. We all eat it, but it's really from Germany.
Okay. Yeah.
Or Austria, I believe. I associate it with skiing trips. So,
Yeah.
like,
the first time I had it
Yeah.
was in Chalet.
yeah, exactly.
I was in the Alps in Switzerland, and they were doing chalet food.
Yeah, so the way I really know it is from skiing trips. Whenever we go for lunch in a like skiing hut thing, that's something they always have, and something I go for because it's simple, it's easy. I mean, yummy.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, we had that for dinner today. I quite enjoyed it. What about you?
Well, I really liked it when I first tried it. I had a bit with mushroom sauce. It was really rich. It was probably one of the richer foods I've ever had, as well as quite heavy because it's potato.
Yeah, it is potato.
Yeah.
It's basically shredded potato.
Yeah. When I first had it,
Yeah.
I thought, okay, the size isn't that big, and then you cooked it with about 3 potatoes. Is that what I remember?
Yeah, 3.
And I thought 3 wouldn't take me down that easily, but I was wrong.
Yeah, it is quite filling. And then again, it depends on the kind of topping you have. So in the skiing huts, usually you have like we had it today with like some smoked salmon and like cream,
Yeah.
sour cream. Or you can also have it with bacon or whatever else, basically.
Yeah, I can see why it works.
And
yeah.
any topping really works.
Does it work
I
with
think-
raisins?
Raisins.
I'm just kidding.
Raisins on that, I don't know about, but yeah. I mean, no, it's good. I like it. Last time you made that pork, your pork, your specialty pork.
Did you just say you are pork? That's what I heard.
Your pork.
You are pork.
No,
Well, thank you.
no, not
Yeah,
your pork. Your special kind of preparing
Yeah.
pork. I mean, which was quite nice to like experience because I think we both cook very differently.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, obviously I have a more European style and you have a more Asian style
Yes.
because of our cultures, because of where we're from. But I think something I really enjoy. That's a lot of Jaffa cakes.
I'm not counting that as one.
So yeah, what was I saying? I was saying yeah, one thing I really enjoy that we started doing is every time we do a podcast, we cook dinner together, and like
Yeah.
1 week it's you, 1 week it's me, and that way we also get exposed to each other's cooking and to each other's like taste and
Yeah.
stuff, which is quite nice actually. Yeah, tell me a bit about how you grew up with cooking. Where did you start really getting a passion for cooking and that kind of stuff?
Well, okay, long story again.
Yeah.
Got to go back to when I was young. So
So 2 years ago.
I was so young back then. No, back to childhood. I'm sure a lot of people think that. Well, we mentioned this last episode as well.
Yeah.
Asians kind of like show affection with food.
Yeah.
So naturally, we just make better food.
Debatable. Debatable.
I grew up with lots of different cuisines
Yeah.
because Hong Kong is a food paradise, as some would call it. So we have quite a huge variety of them, like of cuisine. You've got all the good Asian food, but you always have like French or even British or German or Portuguese, especially in Macau, because Portuguese food in Macau is kind of big because of the history. But still, like Hong Kong being a multinational kind of city brings in so much different cuisines from around the world, and it's kind of nice to be able to experience these different foods. Because let's just say I like going to South Korea, I like to go to Japan, and they specialize in their own nation's food. But I feel like Hong Kong does it in such a way where you're able to kind of get the authenticity without having to travel far, if you get what I mean.
Okay.
Because obviously the best food is from the original country
That you're from, yeah.
Yeah, but I think Hong
of
Kong
course.
offers a certain amount of quality to be good enough to call authentic.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, I only started cooking when I came into uni.
Really?
Yeah. So, what was it, like 4 years ago?
Yeah. 2020.
Yeah. Damn, that's far.
Yeah.
So so I came here. I'm not the kind of person to do takeaway a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a big fan of just spending money every single week to do unhealthy food. you know?
Yeah. I get you.
So I invested in a couple of sauce, which I've never knew about. I kind of know, but my whole cabinet right now, you see my cabinet at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Filled with different kinds of sauce, like at least a good 20 bottles in there.
Yeah. And now I have fish sauce because of you.
For anyone who doesn't know about fish sauce, it's kind of a really strong and pungent smell.
So it's made from anchovies, and I think that's what gives it that smell.
Yeah, and it's used in a lot of, if I remember, it's Filipino or just Asian food. Like we use a lot in different sauces.
Yeah.
I added some in the potato today. It was not bad. I quite like it. I can kind of imagine it. I don't know how you feel about it.
I mean, I didn't try it because I wasn't that risky.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair. So I mean, yeah. If I think back about it, when I really started cooking, so in my school I went to an international school back home, and we basically had cooking classes. We called it food technology. So it was a class every week where every 2 weeks you'd cook something new, and then the second week of those 2 weeks you'd be doing like theory and other kind of tasks. But every 2 weeks you would learn to cook something, you would get the recipe, do it at home. So that's really how I got into cooking. And then I think I was in sixth grade or something, where we had this assignment where we had to basically cook a meal for our family.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
That was basically an assignment. We had to like document it and stuff, take pictures. I don't remember really how old
What did you
I
cook?
was. So first of all, this assignment was basically just for your family, but I went a bit extra. I went over the top, and I invited our neighbor's family.
Okay.
So I ended up cooking for 9 people.
The more the merrier. Mm-hmm.
The more the merrier, yeah, exactly. Ended up cooking for 9 people, and I did a 3-course meal. And I was kind of inspired by my brother because he also did that when he was that age and stuff. I don't exactly remember what I cooked, but I know it was a 3-course meal, and it was very, very delicious. And all I remember from that day is people really enjoying it. So yeah, that's kind of like really how I started getting into cooking, and then I just cooked with
You
my
still
mom
haven't
a
told
lot.
me what you cooked.
I said I don't remember what I cooked.
Oh, I thought you just don't remember what your age was.
No, I don't remember what I cooked. I was very young. I was like maybe
Fish and chips.
8 or 9.
Yeah.
No, it was a proper
Yeah, I'm
three
just
course
kidding.
meal.
Yeah.
It was quite nice. And then I mean I'd always cook here and there with my mom, cook dinner and stuff.
That's good.
And now that since I've been at uni for 4 years, I've had that like culinary freedom to cook whatever I want. So I had this app that gave me 3 new recipes a day.
Oh, that's cool.
So I try out new recipes basically every day.
Mm.
And that was very nice because it just meant I'd get a bit of variety and like different kinds of meals and stuff.
Yeah. Actually, I'm quite intrigued by this course thing. I never had something like that.
Oh, you mean
The
like the one
assignment.
in school? Yeah.
Yeah, I never had something like that. Although I would have never thought that I would get into cooking that much.
Yeah.
So going back like to actually start cooking. I came into uni. And then I just kind of miss home, like the flavors from home.
Oh yeah.
So I just sort of thought, okay, well, I want to cook some stuff to share with different people, you know, to kind of like educate. Because like I again, like food here, UK food, it's a bit of a joke to be fair.
Yeah. There are things they're good at,
yes,
like
but
fish
very
and chips,
rare.
but yeah.
For example, Chinese takeaways. Like I look at that and people say, "Oh yeah, Chinese takeaway, they're really good." I was intrigued, and I was like, "Okay, let me give it a try."
Yeah.
Ordered it, not enough flavor, not enough. Just the looks aren't even good.
Okay.
We have something called ta siu. It's like roasted pork.
Yeah.
And back at home, it would only cost £2. Well, that's like back in primary school, but I'd say around £3 to £4 now if you buy it in Hong Kong. But you'll get so juicy and fatty ones, but the ones here, they look artificially red.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so like, because like it's supposed to look a bit brownish red with a little bit of charcoal-y kind of like look on the skin. But here they use really heavy artificial coloring.
Okay.
And then it just looks it looks lighter than blood color.
Oh wow.
It's that, that artificial.
Yeah.
So it's that drive and desire to kind of chase that taste back from home.
Yeah, I do get that.
And just to kind of and ever since me and Elise got together, I've just been showing her lots of different food from my home, including, I don't think people eat rice enough here.
Yeah, I don't really eat much rice, to be fair.
I have a rice cooker and it's super useful.
Yeah.
For example, for Elise's family, they do rice quite regularly, but they don't ever see the need to invest in the rice cooker, which I hugely disagree. Because to be fair, you can cook rice in 15 minutes or 20-ish minutes. But they always come out a bit clumpy and a bit.
You mean when you cook rice in like a
in
pot?
a pot? In a pot.
Yeah.
And it's always like really bad. But somehow with a rice cooker, you're able to do like perfectly fluffed rice. And rice is really important to us, I think. It's just like pasta to Europeans, I think.
Yeah, we do like our pasta a lot.
And it's not like, we don't like pasta. How I describe it is, I think rice is a primary source because it's like it's really easy to make and it could fill you up really easily. Plus, I like to describe rice as a empty canvas. Yeah. Because you can add whatever sauce onto it, and then it basically provides a texture for you to chew on. And you can eat you can eat the sauce provided from the texture of rice. That's how I like to put it.
I've never really thought about it that way, but that does make sense. Yeah. But the whole thing of like missing home through food is something I experience. I mean, for one thing, German bread is extraordinary, and there's like so much good German bread, and just, I mean, Norwich maybe is an outlier because we have some bakeries here that are decent in bread baking.
Yeah.
But God, I miss German bread. Like,
How's it like? I've never tried German bread actually. I'm just not aware of it.
So if you just imagine, basically a bakery in Germany will have at least 20 to 30 different kinds of bread. So these are different types of wheats, different types of flavors and stuff. And it's always freshly made there. So it's really nice and fresh. And I've not really found a bakery here that does that. And I think bakeries in Germany are very different to the bakeries here because
Just feels a bit more organic material.
yeah. I mean, I must say that I have found some, or there's this new bakery that popped up in Norwich near the Royal Arcade. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh yeah, no, I remember.
It's called like Pastries and More or something.
Wow. Okay.
And it looks good. It looks like basically French pastries and stuff. But I've not seen bread there, and I was kind of disappointed because I was hoping with a new bakery there'd be new bread and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's gone to the point where I've sometimes made my own bread, mainly because I thought, okay, I can do this better than the bread I can buy. So in Germany, there's a difference between toast and normal bread.
Okay.
Toast is not classified as bread, and if you call toast bread,
You're just making a fool out of yourself.
yeah, you're not necessarily offending a German, but like they don't call toast bread. So
Yeah.
like, I mean, there are people that say toast is bread, and I just disagree with that, definitely. But so in Germany you need to make that clear distinction between toast and bread, because to us bread is sourdough, or what's known as sourdough here.
Okay.
So basically every bread is sourdough or has some form of sourdough or some other kind of starter thing. But yeah, so I've made my own bread mainly to try and recreate that flavor, just like you said, by cooking dishes from home.
Do you think you've been successful?
Not really. I think it's hard to bake bread as a student because I'm so busy, and sometimes like bread takes a while to make. I mean, the whole process of like letting it set and rise and stuff, you need a warm a warm place. You need lots and lots of time. I mean, it takes at least like 12 hours and something for that bread to rise and for that to be able to bake. I did want to start baking again. I haven't done it in a while. I think it'd be nice to do, and if I have like a weekend or something to do it, and that'll last me a while, it's quite nice. But yeah, I mean, bread is something I really miss from Germany.
For me, I miss, because I've actually achieved a lot of dishes that I missed.
Yeah.
I'd say I was able to recreate it 80 to 90% of the original.
Oh wow. Okay.
But some dish I can never get close.
Yeah.
I can tell you which ones. I've got 3.
Okay.
So one's Gons Hao, which is a Cantonese dish that it's called stir-fry beef noodles.
Okay.
So to begin with, the beef is marinated in such a way, and I think you use baking soda to make it really chewy.
Okay.
But the only thing is that...
You mean cornstarch? Or baking soda?
Baking soda.
Okay.
So cornstarch coats the outside,
Yeah.
but baking soda actually makes it chewy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so in lots of like restaurants, they use baking soda to make the food more tender.
Okay.
Whereas cornstarch kind of have like that nice glaze over it.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah. As well as so yeah, that dish, it also consists of these flat rice noodles, I think is what you call it. But the thing is, most people buy it fresh from the market.
Yeah.
Like pre-cooked, but like fresh and wet.
Yeah.
The only problem is I can't get fresh noodles that's made. But the best thing is flat rice noodle, but you have to let it soak instead of boil it. I've been doing it with boiling.
Yeah.
And the last thing is because I don't have a hot enough wok and not enough oil in my kitchen. Because if I do so much oil, it's gonna be so like smoky.
Yeah.
And the ventilation in my room is not exactly that well as well.
Yeah, they're not well ventilated rooms.
Yeah, Cantonese cooking use a huge fire, like huge heat and fire base. It's a lot about firepower.
Yeah.
So we have like roast pigs, which has ovens up to 600 degrees just to roast it.
Oh wow. That's hot.
Yeah. My second dish is katsudon. So what it is, it's a Japanese dish where it's deep fried pork, but with like a sauce that's like kind of sweet and savory in the same time.
Oh, okay.
So it's like egg as well coated.
Yeah,
I
okay,
just
okay.
could not get the sauce right.
Yeah.
That's the toughest part of the dish, I think.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I nailed it. And the last one is the hardest one, which is omurice. So it's literally, if you've seen really skillful chefs,
Yeah.
they have a really hot ass pan, and then they pour like these filtered egg batter as well.
Yeah.
It's, sorry, not egg batter, but kind of like egg. They pour it in, and the inside is raw, but the outer is like an omelet. You place it on top of the rice,
Yeah.
and they slice it in the middle ever so like cleanly, and then it just kind of unfolds like a flat flour.
Oh wow, nice.
And then inside is still raw, and you pour like a demi-glace sauce and something like that,
Okay.
and it just so beautiful. Add a bit of what is it called, parsley on top. Beautiful dish.
So it's very, very meat heavy and not very much vegetables,
Yeah,
like the Cantonese diet.
yeah. Cantonese, we're not big on vegans or vegetarian dishes. Lots of our classic dishes has meat in it.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's why a lot of people say, they go to Asia or Japan even. Because I've heard a lot of people say, I go to Japan, but there's no vegan option.
Yeah. 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 So do you have a favorite dish from back home?
Ooh, that's tough. That's a lot of dishes to choose from.
Yeah, but say you could only eat your favorite dish for the rest of your life. What would you choose?
I would say katsudon.
Okay.
So the pork chop one.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the sauce is just right. But that's a Japanese dish. If it's just from Kanto cuisine,
Yeah.
I would say I'm considering what is healthier as well, so I don't die from too much oil. Because we use a lot of oil. As simple as it is, a good Yangzhou fried rice, I think. But I also try to make a Yangzhou fried rice. Usually, it's really easy. Shrimp, spring onion, char siu, and rice. The only problem is I don't have enough firepower in my room.
Oh, okay.
So you don't get the wok.
Your hob doesn't get hot enough.
Yeah.
You mean? Yeah.
I don't get the wok hei.
Yeah.
Have you heard of wok hei?
No.
So wok hei is like, so you season the wok and it gets so hot to the point where you marinate the kind of like the wok itself.
Yeah.
And it's so hot to the point where you have a charcoaly smell in the rice.
Okay.
And I can't achieve it in my kitchen because I don't have enough firepower.
Yeah.
But if you go on the streets in Hong Kong, like they don't issue license anymore for these. So there's a type of restaurant called Dai Pai Dong, and you eat on the street, and usually you have a really high temperature gas stove outside.
Yeah.
And they don't issue it anymore because I don't know what gas they use as well, because it reaches really high temperature. I'll fact check this at the end, but they don't give out licenses anymore, so it's just really hard to get good. To get that perfect tint of charcoalness in the rice.
Yeah.
So
like charred like taste. Yeah.
So the fried rice here in UK and Hong Kong, I don't think there's a match. There's not even a competition.
It is very different. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think to me Europe or UK takes the elegance or like delicacy into cooking. I feel like a lot about it is patience, making sure the measurements are right.
Yeah.
Whereas we love our flavor a lot. We just sauce, then different salt, heavy flavors, heavy power, and just on the plate it's hot, steaming, very just nice.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Do you have a dish that you would have for the rest of your life?
That is a good question. I mean, I kind of shot myself in the foot there because I knew you'd ask me that.
It's only fair.
Yeah, I mean, it is. But, so... there's two dishes I really like. I think the one I choose to eat for the rest of my life is called Schupfnudeln, with sauerkraut. Have you heard of that before?
No, explain.
No. So they're basically like a type of noodle that you cannot get anywhere else but Germany, and they're like these little, I'll say worm shaped.
Okay.
They're shaped like a worm, but like a fat worm, basically. And I think they're also made from potato. I'm not sure. We'll fact check that. But it could be like gnocchi, which is also potato dumpling kind of thing. But they're quite tasty, and then you have it with like soured cabbage kind of thing.
Okay.
I think that's what sauerkraut is. Some people have it with bacon. Again, if you eat meat, some people will have it vegetarian. But I think I really enjoy that, and I've missed that. So, like, I can't find it in any shop here. I've tried to look for it because I've always wanted to make it, but like, you can't find them in any shop. They're like Germany specific. But I think that would be the meal I'd choose to eat for the rest of my life if I could only eat one.
Sounds really nice though.
It is quite nice. I wish I could make it for you once, but we don't have the stuff here unless we import it.
Yeah. An interesting kind of thing popped in my head.
Yeah.
So I was talking to you about. No, we had dinner on Friday as well.
Yeah, we did.
And I made him Filipino spaghetti.
Yeah.
What do you think of it, first of all? And then I'll tell the people what it is.
It's very interesting, and I think we can talk about the fact that there's a lot of there is some beef in it and some artificial meat.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big meat eater, so for me, to be honest, that was kind of overwhelming meat-wise.
Yeah.
Like 2 different kinds of meat. It was a lot. I mean, we didn't really have spaghetti. We had to use other noodles. It was tasty, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. But it's not something I'd have like often.
Oh no, not me as well. It's kind of like at most once a month thing to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people who don't know what Filipino spaghetti is. Excuse me. What it is essentially normal tomato kind of sauce.
Yeah.
But the Italians will kill me. We add ketchup in it.
Yeah.
And we also have artificial sausages in it.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs. Yeah. So the reason why it's kind of like ketchup is because it's meant to be a bit more sweet.
Okay.
So
because of the sugar. I mean, ketchup is mainly just sugar and tomato.
So it is the official thing uses banana ketchup, which I've never tried before, and we can't find it here. I think
you've said, and like I can't really imagine banana ketchup. It's seems kind of very weird to have. But who knows? Maybe it is good.
Yeah, you don't know until you tried it.
Yeah,
like
for most things.
Yeah, and I thought bacon and honey or syrup is kind of a weird combo, but I really enjoyed it.
Bacon and honey.
Yeah, or syrup.
Oh, you mean like on like pancakes and stuff?
No, not even just on its own. Bacon and something like syrup or whatever. But yeah, anyways, you add ketchup, you add really a shit ton of sugar in there.
Yeah.
And it becomes this kind of really sweet tomato sauce. And the artificial sausage gives it a nice little chewy texture to it, I think.
See, I think it was missing the vegetables, but
yeah.
We
did do onion, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, but is onion
It is a vegetable.
Onion counts as a vegetable, but I meant something green.
Fair. Yeah.
I meant like peppers or whatever.
Okay.
See, I've grown up in a household that has a lot of like a lot of vegetables in the diet. So like my mom would always go shopping and spend most of her time in the fresh fruit and fresh veg section, and would basically, that was the basis of the diet, and then rice or pasta or potatoes or whatever was like the base plus vegetables and stuff. Sometimes meat, back when we all ate meat. I mean, I am pescatarian. I did eat meat then, and I do some exceptions where I eat meat, like when friends cook for me or something, or I go out or something and a friend pays or whatever. I won't be fussy about it. It's fine, but it's not like I need meat, and that's why I'm pescatarian. I mean, I like fish, and I think fish is a good source of protein and other minerals and vitamins. But
What do you think of sushi then? Just curious.
I love sushi.
It's good.
I love sushi. There's a really good sushi place here in Norwich called Matane. I'm sure you know it.
Yeah, I think that's the most forgiving sushi that I can have here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I've had I've had sushi in Japan.
Yeah,
That's
of
what it's
course.
called.
Yeah.
You can't beat that, obviously. But matane is probably the closest to what it is. It's still not fresh enough to me.
Okay.
Because, sorry, I'm just gonna go off topic for a second.
Yeah.
One time, I think it was in 2018. One of my friends, I went to Japan on a solo trip. My friend took me into his house just to stay for a few nights.
Yeah.
His dad is a sushi chef. I think I told you. I don't know if I told you this before, but his dad is a sushi chef. One morning, we woke up at 6 a.m. just to go to his restaurant.
Oh, okay.
And it's beside the fish market. So
so it's like really, really fresh.
exactly, yeah. So
That sounds good.
they have fish markets, which
Yeah.
they go on auction. They sell the tuna for the
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
and then restaurants take it back, and then they cut different cuts of the fish. I had it with a bit of wasabi. They do like it's not a choice. Like they snuck it. I wouldn't. No, they don't snuck it, but they place it in between the rice and the fish on top.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure because a lot of wasabi out there. Well, quotation wasabi.
It's not real wasabi.
It's horseradish, yeah.
Yeah, it's just horseradish. And all I know about wasabi is the actual wasabi is like a white plant and not green. The green
Yeah.
is actually just basically coloring and like horseradish. So a lot of the times in what's sold as wasabi, there's not actually much wasabi in there.
Yeah. And it's not that just pure spiciness.
Yeah.
It's actually a really, if you had real wasabi, it's just really fresh thing, but it had a kick to it. It's
But
not like,
real wasabi is hella expensive, isn't it?
I believe so. It's,
I thought
yeah.
I thought like a wasabi plant is really expensive, and that's why
Yeah.
they don't put much wasabi in because it will cost a
Yeah.
fortune.
So yeah, I think it's kind of like truffle. I think they add a small amount, but you can really taste it. So yeah, I had a really fresh piece of sushi.
Yeah,
I believe it's called. I don't think it's nigiri, but something like that.
yeah.
And it just woke me up because the fish is so like nicely cold, and it's not just cold. You can feel the meat of the fish just melt in your mouth, and it's just so nice. I like fish.
Yeah. No, I do like sushi, but coming back to the Filipino spaghetti, yeah, for me it lacked a bit of vegetables and like freshness. Like
Yeah.
it all seemed very meat heavy, but then again, I mean, you cooked for me, it's your culture, and
Yeah.
as we discussed earlier, it is a very meat heavy like cuisine.
Yeah.
So in regards to that, I did like it. But
Okay.
yeah, as I said, it's not something I'd eat often.
Out of 10?
I give it a solid 8.
Oh, that's pretty high actually.
Yes, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, it was tasty, but again, yeah, it lacked freshness for me from like fresh veg or something like that.
2 days later, I actually got a complaint from an Italian.
Really?
Yeah, she told me not to go to Italy.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, I think like there's another thing I want to mention because I cooked something called a white sauce, like the French white sauce.
What do you mean?
In French, they have a sauce that's like called white sauce. I don't know what the French term is, but it's kind of like milk and a bit of like broth. I don't know what broth is, but in Hong Kong we also have white sauce, but we make it with kind of like chicken powder, I think.
Okay.
So it's got more like a salty, artificial taste to it.
Yeah.
And that leads me to my next discussion, which I wanted to mention, is that I think that food in Hong Kong
Yeah.
is more artificial.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
we were having a conversation earlier about how you don't like artificial stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like the hot dogs we had in the Filipino spaghetti, those were very artificial, and that's not really my taste. I grew up on freshness again, and like that's the opposite of fresh in my eyes. It's just basically 8 sausages or whatever in brine in a glass jar.
But I threw away the sausage after I left. So sad.
It's our artificial sausage. It's not like,
I like it.
yeah, okay, but you grew up with it.
Exactly,
I didn't. Like, the only reason we bought it was because you wanted it in that dish, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll give it a try. But yeah.
We use a lot of artificial stuff. I take pride in this, but I am the number 7th spam consumer in Norway.
See, I've never had spam, but I can, just thinking about it, I can tell it's probably, I mean, like, you'd probably like it, but you grew up on artificial stuff. I don't think I'd very much like it. Because it's just a block of artificial meat in a can.
Yeah.
Like that alone is not very appetizing to me. Appetizing to me would be fresh fruits, fresh veggies with whatever. Like in the mornings, I like to have some Greek yogurt with fresh fruits and honey and stuff. Like, that's very fresh and stuff. I'm not saying you'd have artificial meat in the morning. You might do, but you do.
I do.
Okay. So yeah, see how our breakfasts compare.
Yeah. What's your typical breakfast in Germany?
So say you went to a hotel and got like a German breakfast, or for example, I talked about the hikes and stuff in the first episode, and we got breakfast there as well. They're a very typical German breakfast, which is basically a selection of cheeses and meats, and just basically bread.
Yeah. Okay.
So you just have a cold breakfast of just bread with butter and cheese or jam or whatever. I don't really do that much here. That's also, well, I do it, but as a dinner version, and that's something else we do in Germany quite a lot. Is if we can't be asked to cook, we just do bread with cheese and whatever, or meat. But here, my typical breakfast would be like cereal or yogurt with fruit and stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to always have something fresh in there, you know?
See, when I was in Switzerland,
Yeah.
every morning we would have bread, and then with either some, just fruits or like cheese or just really healthy. That's what I would call a white girl's breakfast.
Okay.
And it's very light usually.
Yeah, it is very light, but it's fresh, it's light, it gets you started in the day. Yeah.
See, for us, should I keep burping? In Hong Kong, the work, well, again, referring back to the work-life balance thing, it's always like, get it done, a meal, as I mentioned before. A meal is just something to get by instead of enjoy. But I think what happens is they try to make it as good as possible, so you can enjoy this kind of like chore as well.
Okay.
If you get what I mean. In Hong Kong, we have something called 茶餐廳, like the type of restaurant, and it's typically like whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just order it, and it's mainly noodles, or you don't eat rice that much in the morning. Just noodle. It's mainly noodles. You got flat noodles, instant noodle, or rice noodle. So different kinds of noodle. And
Yeah.
they have set menus like, you can have egg and toast, you can have scrambled eggs and toast, or like ham, whatever. But a lot of it is customizable.
Okay.
So on the menu, you can say, A, B, C, D, E, set. For example, A will always be ham and macaroni with like a broth with a toast and a drink.
Yeah.
And B would be, a winter vegetable with like meat, minced meat or something like that. But you can pretty much freestyle it. I usually like to do ham and egg, which is still artificial ham.
Yeah.
But we have this ham. It's quite interesting because we have this ham, artificial, but when you mix it into an omelet, it creates such a nice kind of taste to it. I think it's just kind of the oil from the ham. It's the same as minced pork. If you mix the minced pork oil into an omelet, it kind of creates a new taste. And if you're interested, you can give it a try.
But do you not prefer an omelet with like fresh veggies and stuff?
No.
Really?
I cannot get by that in my head.
Like, to me, what you've just described sounds awful. If I'm honest,
Yeah, no,
like
no,
to
that's
me,
okay. Yeah,
to me, an omelette is only an omelette if it has fresh tomato, fresh peppers,
right.
whatever, maybe some chili, maybe some whatever, and then cheese. Like that to me is a good omelette. Like that, what you've described, artificial ham and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, but where are you getting your minerals and vitamins from? Because our artificial meat won't really have that, right? So like I don't understand where you get your vitamins and minerals.
Maybe I just don't. I don't know.
Have you ever done like a test to see how well
No,
fed you are?
no. Yeah,
Might be worth it sometime. Just to double check, because it might cause problems
no, that I get.
in your future.
But again, it's just something to get by.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, process like artificial or processed meat is like already done. So instead of spending time to cook something, you just have it ready like the fast. So Hong Kong, we have this restaurant called the Australian Dairy Meal Company.
Okay.
You order, it comes within 15 to 30 seconds, like
Yeah,
the meal,
okay.
because it's pre-cooked already. And you order it, and then it just comes onto your table, and then you eat it. Done. 20
Yeah.
minutes is the whole experience.
Oh wow.
So you
20
finish-
minutes.
20 minutes. Within 20 minutes, you eat,
quite
and then
fast.
you get kicked out.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
it's not even like a Karen's Diner thing where they pretend to be like that. It's just it is the culture, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I pretty much grew up with artificial food. Again, like to the Western audiences, I think this sounds a bit too awful.
Yeah.
Could be.
It does.
Because in my head, the European view is always about freshness. It's always about authenticity. It's always about that, you know, natural ingredient, like whole foods, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, but at the same time, like, I'm what you call a Westerner,
Yeah.
and yeah, I've grown up on that, and that's kind of my food philosophy, if that's what you can call it. But at the same time, I respect that you grew up
Yeah.
the way you did. You grew up on artificial foods, and that's just what you call comfort food. Or,
Yeah, it's
or
not like
that's your comfort food versus my comfort food is
Yeah.
a lot of fresh stuff, a lot of veggies and stuff like that.
It's not like I'm judging you. You know?
No, we're not
It's like,
judging each
if
other.
you like it,
it's
you
just-
like it.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I'm just explaining this is how I grew up.
But this is why I think it's good that we cook for each other, because
Yeah.
we both get exposed to our different cultures, and we see firsthand what it's like eating whatever the other person
Yeah.
basically makes.
Yeah, because it's always good to try different cuisine. And I have had this conversation with my girlfriend as well. I said,
Yeah.
maybe I just haven't had maybe I just haven't had enough European food to get a say, like to get a feel of what it is.
Yeah.
Because you
Okay.
cannot define a cuisine, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
You technically can, but you cannot just define what it is. If you go, yeah.
Yeah.
And I simply just have not had enough European food in Europe.
So let me ask you this then.
Okay.
When you went to Switzerland twice, did you miss your own cuisine? Did you miss your own food, or did you come to like the cuisine in Switzerland?
I didn't miss it.
Okay.
There are once or twice where we had Vietnamese pho,
Yeah.
but most of the time we're eating like you said, like cheese and bread. I had cheese fondue, which is quite a tourist thing to do. Well, I think locals do that as well, but
Yeah.
not an often thing to do. I had cheese fondue. I liked it, but would I have it again and again and again? No.
Really?
It's
Okay,
nice,
okay.
but it's again like it is what it is. It's
Yeah,
kind of heavy
yeah.
as well.
I mean, it's different cultures, and that's just what
Yeah,
Switzerland or German or Austrians, I mean,
I think
like.
you guys prefer the simplicity.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas
Although you could argue it's not only simplistic.
yeah.
Simple. Our food is not only simple. Our food is just fresh.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, it's like it feels like it's built around simplicity. It's in its own beauty. That's how I see it, at least.
Okay. Okay.
Like bread, cheese, a bit of ham, and a bit of like potato and vegetables. That's how I, you know, criterize.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
I
how I
mean,
categorize.
yeah, but that's just basically the dish we do whenever, well, and for breakfast sometimes, and then for dinner if we can't be asked to cook or if we don't want to cook, that's something we do. Like at home, usually my mom cooked every night, and we cooked the warm meal. Because you usually at lunch we just have bread and stuff,
Yeah.
just to keep us going, basically. But then in the evening we'd have a proper meal. I mean, there are certain meals like typical Christmas meals or something that are bigger. I mean, again, that's Christmas, and you could argue the meal is bigger anyway because of holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's this meal in Germany we do, which is Kartoffelklöße mit Rotkohl, and like
Yeah.
it's, well, traditionally it's done with meat.
Okay.
But it's basically these potato dumplings with red cabbage, pickled red cabbage, and then meat, pork, which is really good. And you could argue that's not simple. Like a lot of stuff goes into that. Nowadays you can buy the dough for the potato dumplings separately, but like back in my grandma's day and stuff, she would spend the whole day making that dough from scratch from potatoes and stuff, and like that's not simple because that takes half a day, a whole day to make. So
yeah,
but
it's all very precise and kind of like
exactly
taking your time. Yeah. Talking about family dinners, I think a good family dinner for us is a plate of vegetables, which I never touch.
Okay.
But yeah, I never liked vegetable that much actually, and I think one of the reasons why is because growing up, I've eaten it in such a bland way.
Okay.
Like my parents or my family would always just steam it or blanch it without any seasoning on top.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe that has put me off of it. Whereas for the past 2 years, I've kind of gotten to like onion, garlic, and I think Elise's family kind of fried the peas in such a nice like charcoaly way to the point where I actually quite like it. So I think it's just how it's been prepped, leading me to have a bad impression.
Yeah, exactly. I think prep work in the kitchen can make such a difference.
Yeah.
I think what I enjoy most about cooking is the prep work, because
I agree.
Like it takes a while, yes, but if you do the prep work properly, then your meal will come out great and you will really enjoy it. I mean, the actual cooking part doesn't really take that long. It's mainly the prep work. And yes, there are times where I've had a long day at work or something and I don't really want to cook that evening or something, so I put pizza in the oven or something. But I've kind of realized it's not that hard to make pizza yourself, so I've done that a few times now, and it tastes just so much better because it's like fresher.
The dough is so nice.
The dough is really good. Yeah, the dough. There's something about homemade things that are just much better than store bought.
Yeah. It's kind of weird because we never use an oven at home.
Really?
Yeah. Ovens are not a big thing. Not even dishwasher as well.
I mean, dishwasher I get, but
yeah,
this is one of the big reasons why I actually chose St. Crispin's house to live here, is because the kitchens have an oven, and it bothered me so much to live in Crown without a proper oven. Like we had the microwave oven, which you still have, which kind of works as an oven, and I really use it as much as I can as an oven. It has that convection mode or whatever, but like I've been so much happier with having this proper oven that just works like a proper oven, and that's pretty much the thing that sold me on living here. I mean, it would have been the same if Crown had an oven in the rooms. I would probably have stayed there, mainly because it's easy and convenient. But just the fact that here they had ovens made it a bit better for me. But that's also because I grew up with a lot of things that were put in the oven. A lot of meal prep was done in the oven.
Yeah, I feel like Yeah, because you mentioned about baking as well. So
Yeah.
I think the oven is like mostly for baking, anyways.
Exactly. I mean, cooking, yeah, a lot in oven, but baking, I mean, we've talked
Yeah.
previously about how I love my baking and stuff. An oven is just such a lifesaver when baking. And I mean, like last year when I did my bachelor's project in my lab and stuff, I pretty much baked every week for the lab, mainly because I really enjoyed baking, and it was also nice to basically share those baking skills. And I think I've gotten really good at baking through doing it pretty much every week. I don't do it as much now because I'm busier.
Yeah.
But for me, baking is just also a stress relief.
Yeah, no, I get that because, yeah, talking about like going back to prepping as well.
Yeah,
I agree. I really like the process, and I wouldn't call myself a knife enthusiast. It's just making me sound like a murderer, but I each year I kind of buy a knife. Like the first year I came here, okay, I bought a Sainsbury's standard knife. It was kind of whack. Can't even cut, like it would slide onto your hand if you were cutting an onion.
Oh, okay.
And then I bought like a pink kind of ceramic. Is it what it is? Like I don't know what it is, like the plastic knife.
Yeah.
It didn't really work as well. So the third year I actually had to order a knife on Amazon.
Okay.
But pretty much ordered it. I do my research whenever I buy stuff.
Yeah.
So I followed this cooking channel on YouTube. It's called June's Cooking, and he has like a whole selection of knife.
Yeah.
But I'm into Japanese blade a lot, and I really like the sharpness of it.
I mean, Japanese knives are known to be
Yeah.
really, really high quality and really good, like Damascus knives and stuff like that.
So yeah, I bought that one. Really satisfied with the blade. But this year I went to Japan and I thought, okay, there's like a kitchen utensils street,
Yeah.
specifically selling for, just the whole street is selling kitchen stuff.
Yeah.
And I heard about you can get your name engraved on the knife, which I've always wanted to. So I did that. The knife is about this long. I don't know how long it is. I think, let's just say 25 cm, I would say, which is quite a big knife.
It is quite long, yeah. Big blade.
And I gotta say, like, different knives has its own stats.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Different knives have different uses.
Some is really good for like chopping or slicing. But like for example, my smaller knife that I bought in the second year, which is the Japanese blade I ordered from Amazon.
Yeah.
That's really good for like straight down stuff.
Okay.
Like for example, cutting onion, like chopping down.
Yeah.
But I feel like the big blade. Well, also it's because of the handle. The handle is built differently. So with the big blade, when I try to do the same motion, cutting the onion like up and down,
Yeah.
it just irritates my palm a bit because of the grip. But when it comes to slicing, that performs a lot better than my Amazon knife.
Okay.
So, and I even bought like a gritstone for like sharpening knife as well.
I was gonna ask how often do you sharpen your knives?
Not that often because it really just stays sharp for a good time.
Really? Okay.
A good long time. But sometimes like one night I feel like, oh, the knife is not dull, and then suddenly the next day, magically it feels sharper for some reason.
So I've read this thing online where that says you're supposed to basically sharpen your knife every, like, before and after every use.
Okay.
To like basically maintain that sharpness of the knife.
Yeah.
And so I did that for a while. I didn't really find a difference.
Yeah.
So now I do it maybe once a month, which might even be not enough, really.
I just do it whenever I feel like it's dull. I think that's good enough.
Yeah. So there's a test I do, which is just basically taking a plain sheet of paper and just basically sliding it along, seeing how sharp it is, if it'll cut the paper or not without tearing it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I did it once with the Sainsbury knife.
Yeah.
I sharpened it. It was... It's so weird because I'm able to slice it left really clean, but when I slice the other side, it doesn't work.
Okay.
So it's kind of like uneven.
But is that because you only sharpen one side of the blade or both?
I sharpened both. But
Okay,
I think what happened is because I think on the gritstone,
Yeah.
you're meant to keep a consistent 15-degree angle.
Okay.
And that's like my first few times, so I haven't got used to the
Yeah,
motion
the
yet.
angle and everything.
And I've
yeah.
watched so many different YouTube videos which says different stuff. Like, for example, one's like, oh, straight forward, like straight back. One's like, oh, rotated a bit. So I haven't, decided on what to do.
Yeah.
So, I'd say right now I want to get back into sharpening it. But again, like my knives are sharp enough. I don't feel the need. I need to do it anytime soon.
Yeah. You know, we could start a cooking show, and I'm sure people will watch it. We combined, we have quite a bit of knowledge on cooking.
Yeah.
So
Watch me put ketchup on spaghetti.
let us know if you want a Justin and Raphi cooking show.
Yeah.
We might make some special content together. But yeah, I mean, I think cooking is such a like vast thing to talk about. There's so much, and there's so much we can still learn. I mean, I mentioned this first episode. I have a class coming up in May, which the fact that it's booked out until May is a good
crazy.
sign. It's a while because
exactly.
May is still quite far. But at the same time, it's a good sign, and I'm very excited to learn something completely brand new to me, Indian cuisine. I don't really cook a lot of Indian, but this is like really authentic Indian, at least I've been told, and I think so. So I am looking forward to like expanding my horizons and playing around and experimenting with new ways to cook and different cuisines and stuff. So I might pick up a few skills here and there.
Yeah. I think over the years, what I've learned
Yeah.
is the different sauces. Oh, this is something I want to tell the world as well. Soy sauce doesn't mean Japanese soy sauce only. There's not only one soy sauce.
Yeah.
And what I often see is people say, "Oh yeah, I need some soy sauce in my rice." But what soy sauce are you talking about? So I introduced you to kind of a new soy sauce as well. It's really common in Chinese cooking.
Yeah.
It's called light soy sauce.
The one that's a bit like sweeter.
Yeah, it's not as salty because if most
exactly.
people refer soy sauce as the Japanese soy sauce.
Yeah, the one that's like very salty, very overpowering.
Which is only appropriate in Japanese rice. And
Okay.
when I say Japanese rice, I mean with the salt and rice vinegar and sugar.
So like sushi rice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But a lot of people just don't know the difference between different kinds of soy sauce.
Yeah. But
And-
I think that's also the case of a lot of people that are not Asian knowing the difference, because we've basically grown up with that one Japanese version of soy sauce, whereas you have probably grown up with different kinds of soy sauce, and that's why you know more about that, you know?
Yeah. Like, I'll just briefly say this. So we have light soy sauce, dark soy sauce.
Yeah.
Not soy sauce, but oyster sauce. You've heard of it.
Yeah, I have.
We also have Maggi seasoning, and you claim it was German.
Maggi, yeah.
Maggi. I call it Maggi.
So I've grown up with it, and I know it's Maggi, and I think Maggi is from Germany. We'll fact check that, but
I think it's actually from Switzerland.
could be.
I did look it up before. I think it's from Switzerland.
Could be. We'll check and we'll let the viewers know. But
so there's that, but we use it a lot in Cantonese cooking.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like it's a really good sauce to go with rice when you're just can't think of anything to add.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I've always seen Maggi as basically just being a bunch of sugar and some spices.
Right.
But
Okay.
like I have used it, and the way my family uses it is when we make soups, we use that Maggi sauce basically to enhance the soup in a way. So I've grown up with it in soups,
Yeah. Okay.
and that's like what Maggi is in my head.
We use it for marinating meat as
Okay.
well as just on rice, really.
Okay.
It
It is very salty though, isn't it?
Yeah, and I like it's not exactly Kiko Man soy sauce.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
nicer
Yeah.
in a way
Yeah.
because this is a really simple dish, but eggs like a sun egg on rice and then a bit of Maggi on top, and then it makes a great meal already. So yeah, like that's one of my lazy meals as well.
Yeah.
Because you were saying how you If you're lazy, you just put a pizza in the oven.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
For me, if I'm lazy, I just like do a not pot noodle. God like forbid like pot noodles. That's a
Yeah.
major crime. Pot noodle is shit. It's so bad because like the first time I had it, it was like
Yeah.
chicken broth, and chicken broth is meant to be good,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it just tasted like water.
Thing is, the only time I've really had pot noodles was when I moved into Crown and when I
Yeah.
moved into here, because they had those like starter
yeah,
packs,
yeah. Mhm,
and they
mhm.
always come with like 1 or 2 pot noodle packs, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I never buy this because 1, it's ultra processed, and 2, it's artificial seasoning and flavoring. And I mean, we've just talked about this. I've
Yeah.
grown up with freshness, like that does not appeal to me.
Yeah. For pot noodle,
Yeah.
if I actually like, I would only eat it when I'm in my lowest of lows.
Okay.
If I'm just feeling like kind of tired, I would I would just boil some udon. Udon is like this kind of thick white noodle. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
if you tried it before.
No, I've had udon before. Yeah.
Or just like instant noodle.
Mm.
And then I would always do spam or some like just an egg on top. Like it's just an easy put on a pan thing.
Yeah, see, the other easy thing I do is just bread with cheese again. Like,
Yeah.
it's a very, I mean, German or Western thing to do, but it's so easy because, like, I usually see that I have bread in the freezer or something that I can just, like, put in the microwave to thaw or, like, on the thaw setting, and then just have that. And then that's quite easy because I'll always have cheese, I'll always have butter, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And if I come home and I've had a long day, it's just easy to do that.
Yeah, and I talking about butter. Like I only
Yeah.
use it for sauces for butter,
Okay.
not bread at all.
Yeah.
But what's funny is after I use it on the sauce. I pretty much don't touch it for the rest of the week until
Butter.
I have another sauce that I want to make.
Oh, okay.
So recently I bought butter because I wanted to make banana bread, which I did make.
Banana bread's good.
But I didn't touch the butter afterwards.
Okay.
Oh, when I say I didn't touch it, I mean I didn't use it. That's like
Yeah.
that's me directly translating from Cantonese.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of the stuff I use is pretty heavy
Yeah.
as well as artificial. I think that's what we've concluded from this conversation.
Yeah, I think from this conversation we've understood that Canto cuisine is very artificial heavy, whereas German cuisine is very fresh and
Yeah.
like freshly made stuff, bread, whatever. A lot of veggies. I mean, when I go shopping here, I spend a lot of the time in the fresh fruit and veggie section,
Yeah,
as my mother
where I
used
just
to.
walk past it. I would
Yeah,
only buy
see-
spring onion if I were
Okay.
to do so.
Okay.
And mushrooms.
Yeah,
I really like my mushrooms, but we don't.
mushrooms
use it
are
enough.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Asian cuisine use it enough.
Mm.
Not white button mushrooms.
You mean like the brown closed cup or whatever?
Not even that. Like we don't use those enough.
Mm.
Whereas like I think we use enoki for hot pot.
Mm.
The really tiny small
Yeah,
ones,
yeah.
or just
Yeah.
like shiitake,
Mm.
which is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine to have differences in diet. I mean, that's part of culture, right? Talking about diet or cuisine, what do you think about British food?
Oh, shit.
British food that you've now like experienced as you've lived here for 4 years.
See, one of the reasons why I keep cooking myself is because there's not enough British food. Like there's an ongoing joke saying, "Oh, do you want some British food?" Some nice British cuisine is Chinese food. There's like a joke.
Yeah. I mean, there's the same thing with Indian food, right? There's an Indian,
But there's a British Indian.
but there's a British
Yeah.
Indian, and the British Indian is very much like butter chicken and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, which is, again, I'd say that's very artificial, compared to proper Indian, which is like using really nice spices and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So this cooking course I have is like the proper Indian, not just British
Yeah.
Indian.
Yeah, I feel like Americans do this as well for the sake of like Western what's the word? Western appealingness.
Yeah.
They change it up a bit. So I don't know if you noticed this. whenever you go to a Chinese restaurant, there will always be chips and nuggets.
Yeah.
So that's just to appeal to Westerners a bit more.
Okay.
But then you also have those stereotypical ones like egg fried rice, where yes, there is egg fried rice, but it's not a thing. Like it's really not like a big thing.
Yeah.
Back at home.
Yeah.
Because the most basic fried rice is Yangzhou fried rice, I think. But egg fried rice is simply not a thing back home.
What's that? Yanzhou egg fried rice?
So Yangzhou fried rice, you mean?
Yeah.
Again, char siu, which is the roasted meat, some shrimps, some spring onion, some rice, and then you fry it.
Just mix that and then
fry it under high heat. You get that charcoaly taste to it.
Yeah.
That's the most basic one, I would call it.
Okay.
But egg fried rice is simply not a staple dish from us.
Yeah.
Again, it's a very like westernized dish. Same as chicken balls. Like when I was working in a Chinese restaurant before, someone came up to me, "Oh, do you have any chicken balls? If there's no chicken balls, I'm not eating here." I'm like, "That's not a Chinese cuisine." Same as a fortune cookie. That's an American thing. That's imposed on Chinese culture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which when someone like grocery stores here in like China, like Asian grocery store, they also sell fortune cookies, which I just don't like it because it just basically means promoting this Oriental / Westernized sense of what Chinese culture is.
Yeah, it's a stereotype.
Exactly.
That's not necessarily true.
If you walk into a single restaurant in China, Hong Kong, or just in general, you won't see anything like that. They'll just like look at you weird, like what the fuck is a fortune cookie?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, fair enough. Yeah. I don't really know what else to say.
Yeah.
Shall we maybe take a quick break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
And then come back.
All right. See you in a bit.
Cool. See you in a bit, guys. Thank you. Welcome back, guys. We're back after the break.
Welcome back.
Yeah, so food was today's big thing.
Do you reckon I can catch this?
Maybe. Oh.
I doubt it.
Just for our audio only listeners, we have some Jaffa cakes, a British cuisine, and Justin's about to try and catch one in his mouth.
Fuck, I can't throw it.
Oh, so close. Okay, fine.
Let me try again. Oh my god.
Cool. No, so yeah. Before the break, we talked a lot about food. We are eating a British food, Jaffa cakes, which are half-coated biscuits filled with jam. What is it, orange jam? Some kind of jam.
I eat whatever.
They are quite yummy. It's our little podcast snack because we wanted a dessert after dinner. So we thought, why not have them on the podcast?
Yeah.
So if you're watching the video to this, there will be a Jaffa cake counter.
Yes. I think I'm in the lead right now.
I think you are in the lead. I mean, that whole thing was full, and now it's like a third. So yeah, it's fine, cool. So you said in the break you wanted to talk about something else today.
Yeah, I want to talk about British life.
What do you mean, British life?
How are you feeling living in this country now after so many years? Like what are your thoughts? What are your experiences? Have you had any, issues or what you enjoy, stuff like that?
Well, I mean, so first year I was here was very strange for me, COVID. So I moved here uni started September 2020.
Yep.
Right when basically in the middle of COVID, which was an experience because we had like a month or so of uni and then there was the first lockdown.
Yep.
Which was very strange. I mean, I'm sure it was strange for you as well because you started in a similar time.
Yeah, I had to do online lessons pretty much every fucking week.
Yeah, yeah. I had online lessons as well, but what was even worse was on online labs.
Yeah.
So trying to do a lab online does not really work.
How do you even do that?
So the way they did it is they had someone in the physical lab, like physically, with a camera, which did not
Right.
have good recording quality or live streaming quality or whatever.
Not as good as ours.
Yeah, I mean, we have a photography student, so
Uh-huh.
hopefully we have good quality.
Okay.
But basically, they had this really shitty quality camera, and they were trying to make us like calculate lab stuff by reading off of lab equipment through the camera, which did not work. Everyone basically complained, and I think that was the singular online lab we ever had. Other than that, we never really had labs. We were supposed to have labs every 2 weeks in my undergrad. I didn't really get into the lab until my first summer, until my summer between second and third year, where I did a lab internship, which was when COVID calmed down again. And then from then on, lab was fine. And now I work in a lab full time, basically. So
You can't get enough of labs now,
yeah,
huh?
yeah, I'm just always in the lab
It's
every
your
day.
second home.
It really is. I mean, now that I work every single day, even on the weekends, like this morning I had to work as well, and it's Sunday, so I had to wake up at like 7:15 to go into the lab today. And then we'll tell you, although I love my work and it's really exciting, it is a pain to go in 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Always waking up that early and stuff, not really having a break. So what I've done now is with my weekends, I go to work in the morning, I do everything I need to do, then I come home and just relax. I used to work on the weekends as well in my undergrad, as in do like uni work, catch up on notes, whatever stuff. And I do work sometimes on the weekends, but now that I've always been in the morning, I was so tired that I just rather rested and spent good time during the week really doing work. So as far as British life experience goes, first year was a mess because of COVID, but
Yeah.
I can't really blame anyone in the UK about that. I can't really blame Boris Johnson or whatever when he was prime minister, because it's not his fault. I mean, lockdown was in every country, so
Yeah.
it wasn't like he just decided on a random limb, oh, let's have a lockdown to annoy everyone. But I must say, after moving to the city center in my second year and stuff, it was a lot better. I mean, I met you, I met Elise, met Aiden, our other friend.
Yeah.
I felt more like I had a community of friends to do things with, and I mean, we would always hang out quite a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, it helped that we lived in the same place, watching movies together and stuff.
Yeah, I quite like that actually. Last year I was saying to everyone, I was like, we should treasure more
Yeah.
time together because we're not gonna live in the same place anymore after
Yeah, I mean-
people graduate. And I mean something about like just cuddling and together in bed watching a horror movie is just really nice. I think.
See, I never really liked horror, even when we watch it together, but
I think that's the fun element out of it.
it brought us together. We were all pretty scared together, and that was kind of fun. Like you, Elise, me, and Aiden.
Screaming together in the bed is so funny.
It's worse when you don't have a girlfriend there to
Yeah.
color you at night, like
No, to shield me.
to shield you at night. Yeah, I mean, those are some experiences I'll never forget.
Yeah.
And I must say they weren't like bad experiences. They were really fun because it brought us together.
Yeah.
As friends and stuff. And yeah, really from my second year onward, I felt more at home here. In my first year, it was very hard and very alienating because
Yeah.
all I could do was be with the people in my flat, and
Yeah.
there were a few people that I really liked and really got on with well. There was a girl named Rodi from Eritrea who actually brought me coffee back from Eritrea. Do you know where Eritrea is?
Nope.
It's like in, I'm gonna get this wrong. Let's just say fact check me
Okay.
before I say anything wrong, and annoy people. It's I want to say it's near Ethiopia,
What is Ethiopia?
an African country. Do you know
Okay.
anything about African
My
geography?
geography is really bad in general.
Okay. It's basically where they produce specialty coffee. And so she brought me back some freshly made coffee. That's kind of the relationship we
Okay.
had. But then there were also some other people that were just party goers, and I don't really like clubbing. I don't really like partying. I'm more for something like this, something chill with friends,
Yeah.
chatting, maybe go to a pub.
I feel like one misconception of like people is that you have like in uni you have to party a lot.
Yeah, no, you don't. You really don't. I mean, you do whatever you feel comfortable with. So if you like partying, fine, go out. I'm someone that really likes concerts, so I went to a bunch of concerts throughout my uni degree, which I really loved. I mean, I saw Elton John in the stadium.
Oh yeah.
I remember you weren't at the concert, but you said you could still hear him.
I can hear him from my room.
Yeah, from your room. I mean, I was there, and I was really lucky because I paid like 70, 80
Yeah, it's
quid,
cheap.
which was really cheap. And I think the people like 1 or 2 rows behind me paid 400 for their
That's
seats.
crazy.
Like the fact that I paid like 300 less than them, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's kind of another experience you can have. And I feel like it also depends on the people you hang out with. A lot of my people are not really party goers, or a lot of my friends
Yeah.
are more like the people that rather go to a pub, have a chill chat over a drink or
Yeah.
something, rather than go out clubbing. I went clubbing once during uni, to Pop World. Do you know Pop World?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
It's
Yeah.
a big like British club. Didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Never again.
I feel like just because it's just because it's a more popular activity, there's no reason where you have to feel peer pressured into joining these kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Because if you don't like it, you don't like it. You know, I don't know. Maybe the media made it look like it, like, oh, if you don't like this, you're lame.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't. That's not the case when you actually enroll in uni. You know, you find a bunch of weebs, for example, that you can. But you're not. You know, the weird bunch.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. You're free to hang out with whoever you like, and you're free to do whatever you enjoy, and no one's forcing you to do anything you don't want. If someone tries to force you, I'd say don't do stuff with them.
That's when you draw the line.
That's a red flag. That's like okay.
Okay. I think there's a thin line between forcing you and encouraging you. If you get what I mean.
Yes and no.
Yeah, there's a thin line. I'm saying there's a thin line between.
Yeah, but I'm agreeing and disagreeing.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm saying yes, I agree. There are situations where there are situations where someone could be encouraging you, but you interpret it as forcing you. But then there are situations where someone might think they are encouraging you, but they are forcing something upon someone that someone doesn't like.
Yeah.
Like that clubbing thing was mainly because I never went clubbing in my entire life. I wanted to try it once, and that's fine. I didn't feel like I was pressured into it. But now if someone pressures me or tries to pressure me into it, I'm just like, no, and I walk away or something.
Yeah.
I'm more the type of guy that will speak my mind if I have a problem, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was in my first year one of my experiences, and Norwich is quite safe,
Yeah.
but like that region, Prince of Wales Road, that's a road I generally don't like and try and keep clear of, mainly because
It's scary.
It's a sketchy part of town.
Yeah, same.
So like even if I come home with the train or something, when I'm on my way back here, I don't really. I take a taxi rather than walking up that road. Mainly because I just want to be safe. You know, better safe than sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. In the topic of safetyness, I did a project when I interviewed different Hong Kong people.
Yeah.
And one of their factors of choosing Norwich is because of safetyness as well.
It is a very safe city.
Yeah, it is. I think Norwich is ranked number 3 or 4 in the overall like place to stay.
Okay.
Based on like enjoyment.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But yeah, like one of the main reasons why people decides to move to Norwich is because of the safetyness,
Yeah.
and I agree with that. Because Hong Kong or Asia in general,
Yeah.
well, depending on parts of Asia, obviously, but Hong Kong or Japan or those are more safe countries. Like if I were to take a stroll at 2 a.m. in the morning, I wouldn't feel like scared because I don't like no one's gonna attack me out of nowhere. Whereas to me, okay, again, this is something I want to expand on as well. Is like personal safety and personal feeling as Asian in this country. Because safety first. I don't feel safe here, to be honest.
In Norwich.
Even in Norwich, yes. In London, I really don't feel safe.
Yeah, London I don't see as a safe
But
place.
in Norwich, I still don't feel entirely safe.
Okay, I get that.
Mainly because it's just the different types of people I would meet on the street.
Yeah.
Hong Kong, I'm comfortable. There's like even though there's a lot of people around, you won't feel a sense of like overwhelmingness because obviously I grew up there first of all, but second of all, I don't have to worry about someone coming up to you and like just like causing stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was in Switzerland, this one random dude who speaks French came up to us and started shouting at us. He wasn't even drunk, but he was just shouting like random stuff as I don't understand. I thought he was like saying some like racial slurs at me.
Yeah.
But Elise was saying, "Oh no, it's just some Israeli or Palestinian kind of thing." But we were just normal people. We were just minding our own business. We weren't even talking about that topic. And then this random dude just came up to us and started shouting at us and raising middle finger at us. So I think there's that kind of element of being scared of because I feel like Asians is more of a target when it comes to bullying or attacking. Another thing is because I've experienced hate crime here in this country before. I was in a train station. There was these football fans who were yelling like really racist stuff to me. Like they were all chanting, "Oh, you're just a fat Jackie Chan" to me.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
And I didn't know how to react. Firstly, I was really like after they gone.
Yeah.
And then I felt like, okay, well, I think from then on, my opinion about UK kind of like really changed a lot.
Yeah.
Because I no longer really feel safe in terms of how open people are and how how ignorant people can be.
Yeah. So you'd leave as soon as you can. Your plan is to go back.
Yeah,
to
after
Hong Kong after you graduate.
Yeah, because I want to feel more connected back to home after living for 7 years. But in the meantime, it's just food wise as well as like safety wise, and I'm just more comfortable there. Here, whereas I feel like there's a sense of like non-belongingness for me to be here.
Being estranged.
Yeah, the phrase, go back to your own country. I have a feeling of that sense.
Okay.
And like even though they don't say it, I have a feeling that people are giving me that look or
Okay.
feeling.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of sad because I've experienced hate crime. Some of my Asian friends also experienced this type of stuff. My friend was recording a voicemail to me.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, I heard a bunch of like maybe around 14 to 15-year-old kids saying "konnichiwa" at the background, and they start laughing. But my friend was too innocent to like she's not that good in English, so she doesn't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
They thought they were just like saying hello to her, but no, like they were making fun out of her.
Okay.
So it's just these kind of instances which I feel like it's such an easy target to attack. Like we are such an easy target to attack because it's just we don't fight back. That's the vibe. Like I think people think we are.
Yeah.
And especially in America as well. I say that like I was having a discussion with Elise's parents as well because they quite like America. They grew up in America as well as have a lot of association with America. And I said, well, I don't really want to go back to America because there's on the news, there's so much like Asian hate crimes going on.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, don't trust everything on the news. But then in the same time, it's like, who would attack an uncle who's 80 years old? But, like if it's a, like these coordinated attacks.
Yeah.
And their majority towards like old Asian, I think it is fair to assume it is a racially motivated crime. rather than, just a random attack. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I do understand what you mean. Yeah.
Like our nature is just to be more cautious.
I get that, but say there was a really really good job in photography or something in the UK. Say somewhere in the UK, doesn't need to
Yeah.
be London, doesn't need to be Norwich. For all I care, say Leeds or whatever,
Yeah.
or Liverpool or whatever. Would you, if you then had the choice between going home and staying here, would you consider staying here, or would you straight away default to going home?
I would
Because of
still
those feelings.
I would still consider staying. Like consider. I mean,
Yeah, consider, not
yeah.
make the choice, but just
I would
consider.
still
it.
consider.
Yeah,
Because no doubt, as a creative, in the creative industry kind of sense, Hong Kong is definitely lacking behind.
yeah,
We're not a very artistic place to begin with.
Mm.
But UK is obviously more creative and has more opportunities to choose
yeah.
from. But
yeah.
I just can't get over the fact that, of who I am as well as how people see me. Because I've gotten used to getting weird looks on the street.
Yeah.
Could be a self-conscious thing, but it's also like I feel like they stare at you because you seem to be really like weirded out or closed off.
Yeah.
Plus I'm not a big fan of the openness in this country. Like I cannot stand saying hello to a neighbor every single day, let's just say. Like it feels like forced interaction just to put up a face. Like I feel like
You
UK,
see, that's a cultural difference again, because like, I think it's culture, and it depends on how big your hometown is or something. But my hometown is quite small, so it's like everyone knows everyone. So for us, it's normal to say hello to our neighbors,
okay.
and it's not something that we see as a chore,
Yeah.
but something that we enjoy doing because we just chat.
Well, in that case, back at home in Hong Kong, I live in a small village as well. Everyone knows each other as well.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
I'm talking about is, I don't know you, but I'm still obligated to say hello to you, just because we pass by and it's polite to do so,
Yeah, but it is polite.
even if I don't know you.
Yeah,
Yeah, that I can't get by.
like I do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can't get by to that. It's just
why not?
I feel like it's just like, oh, you want something to do with me, but I don't have anything to do with you.
But
that
it's
kind of
not.
sense.
It's not about having something to do with the other person. It's about respect and politeness.
Yeah. Or you never know what bad stuff they could come up to you. That's how we see it, I think. Like,
Okay,
if I were to say hello to a random stranger back at home,
yeah,
they would just look at you, not do anything, give you a weird look, and just carry on with their day.
yeah,
It's, saying hi to a random person, it's just unnecessary. I know it sounds really robotic and really like cold-hearted, but I guess it's more of a sense of every man minds their own business. Like everyone minds their own business. But when it comes to helping each other, then you would do so.
See, it's a thing like back when my family, we had a dog and stuff, and we go on dog walks. You greet whoever, even if you don't know them. If you're on a walk, you just greet them and say hello. You don't need to make small talk. You just, as you walk by, you say hello, and that's just politeness and being nice, right? It's not like we're trying to start a conversation.
Yeah, that's still kind of
So
awkward.
to me, what you're describing is very alienating, and it feels weird.
Yeah.
But then again, that's just your culture, and
Yeah, I feel like the sense of don't talk to random strangers is pretty big.
okay,
Yeah.
interesting, yeah,
And another thing is, I don't feel safe here because I feel like there's more crimes.
there are, yeah,
I got my wallet stolen in London without knowing. That's just how skilled these thieves are.
yeah. But London is different. I think London is on a different level to say Norwich or another small town.
But as a country, let's just say,
Okay,
I don't have to worry about that in Hong Kong. I don't have to worry about that in Japan or South Korea or any part of, well, not any part again. It's just back at home, let's just say. I don't have to worry about like, oh, is my phone in my pocket? Is my wallet back in my pocket? I don't. In London, I check it every 10 or 15 seconds. I put my hands in my pocket, make sure my stuff is in there. I put my bag in front of me.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad to me because I went to a Christmas market in Switzerland. There's signs everywhere saying keep your personal belonging close to you. You don't ever see that in, back at home. It's that sense of trust. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Like, yeah, it's standard practice to do so, to, keep your belongings safe and to you, but shouldn't it be better to not have this concern?
Yeah, I mean, it is, and it is better to not have that concern, but at the same time, I think it's good to be aware of your surroundings and be aware of what's going on, and I feel like that's part of it as well. You're aware that you still have your wallet. You're aware that everything's fine. You're being hypersensitive to your surroundings.
Yeah. But it's
that can be a good thing, I'm saying.
But seeing signs like this at the Swiss market just makes me feel sad because we've come to a point where we can't trust each other.
Yeah, fair.
I also feel like in the UK I have to put on the face most of the time when it comes to interaction.
Yeah.
In Hong Kong, I can talk about... Okay, in Hong Kong, I feel like there's a lack of understanding. We're going to go into a really gray area right now.
Okay.
Disabilities, racial slurs. We joke about stuff like that. Disabilities, I feel like it's because it's not looked upon as important as it is back home. Yes, you can call me, oh, you're such an ass for saying that. You're such an ass for like even make joking out of these stuff. But in the same time, we don't mean what we say. We just joke it.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean.
Fair. Yeah.
I'm not trying to justify it. I'm not saying, it's okay to make fun about disabled people, but in the same time, I feel like here there's so much stuff you have to be careful of what you're saying.
Yeah, I get that, but at the same time, I think it's also a thing of you're in a different country. You kind of need to adjust yourself, and so there are certain things I don't talk about or I prevent myself from saying because I know it'll just create trouble, and that's just that sense of adjustment, being able to read your surroundings again. I think it's important, especially, I mean, as we are in a new country, to just be aware of your surroundings and be aware of what's going on, to properly judge the situation, make a educated judgment of what you should do next and stuff, what not to say, whatever.
Yeah. So, it's because of this element that I kind of hold myself back.
Yeah.
And Elise has told me about this before. Like, the UK me, it's kind of half of the Hong Kong me.
Okay.
Like, the Hong Kong me is just an amplified version of me now.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm more expressive. I'm more happy. And I'm more crazy as well.
Fair enough. But I think we all change how we are a bit when we're around other people, of course.
Yeah. Because like so many reasons why I kind of just want to go home rather than stay here for longer. It's not like I don't like this place, but price-wise, people-wise, interaction, and just kind of food, everything contributes a little to the more of a reason why I just want to go back.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've been here 7 years. I've learned more stuff. Like, I feel like reflecting back to when I first came and now the stuff I realize, it's just it's just enough of a reason for me to feel like, okay, well, I need to go back. It's time to go home.
Yeah.
Because I've interviewed someone in the documentary I mentioned, and they've only been here for 2 years so far.
Yeah.
But they kind of talked about how, they thought UK will be this really technologically advanced place.
Yeah.
And really big, like, city, and really, like, really nice people and stuff like that. But this is just like a stereotypical image of UK.
Yeah.
When you go to like the suburbs area, like, it's literally opposite of what people imagine. So I feel like this is with anything really. You have to immerse yourself long enough in order to get a sense of what it is.
Yeah, yeah. And some people would argue we're not immersed long enough. I mean,
Yeah.
you've been here longer than me, 7 years versus 4 years. But then again, the question arises: when are you immersed long enough?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm here long enough to realize that I'm not happy.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
that's fair, and I think what would be interesting in probably a future episode would be just to discuss the future for us and where we
Yeah.
think we're heading and what our plans are and stuff. And
Absolutely,
like
yeah.
to really delve deep into what we're actually doing, what we're actually passionate about, and that kind of work aspect.
Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of friends here. I
Yeah.
really appreciate them, and you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I would be so sad that I won't be able to see them again.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about in a general sense when it comes to growing up as well as working and how society treats you and sees
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I enjoy. There are certain parts of stuff where I enjoyed here more than Hong Kong. For example, the conversations we're having like right now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like I'm able to have more of a discussion when it comes
Yeah.
to
Exactly.
these type of like interests or something like that. Because back then at home, I was not. I didn't like Chinese as a subject, and I feel like I had a lack of understanding when it comes to having conversation with my friends. But coming to the UK, I really enjoyed that, going to pubs and just like talking about stuff.
Yeah.
That's the thing I would miss the most. Whereas back to Hong Kong, we have very little to no moments where you can talk about your true feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one thing I really treasure. And the second thing is, I quite like this kind of student lifestyle where you kind of independent, you do whatever you want, you meet up with your friends.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna miss when I go back. So there are
Yeah,
good
yeah, of
elements,
course.
but in a general sense, after waiting it out, I think going home, just kind of like being with family as well as like take my time and connect again. This is such a cliche say, but connect back to my roots.
No, but that's fair enough, and I think that's something that plays a role for all of us that are in the new country. We all kind of we have this need to go home. We have this want to go home,
Yeah.
mainly because it also will connect us to our roots, and I think that's a completely fair thing to say.
Yeah, because after coming here, my projects kind of like shifted towards to my heritage. I want to create work about my heritage. I want to
Yeah.
celebrate it. But it's just kind of the sense where I feel like, oh, I reflect and I find out, oh, maybe Hong Kong is quite a unique place to me. It has a really special place, and it gives me these experiences as well as like feelings, whereas other people won't be able to experience. And I quite like that.
Yeah.
I just want to go back, study more, or just kind of relive it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I go back every summer, but it's a very like summery, party-ish, relaxing holiday mode.
yeah.
But I haven't experienced the winter side of Hong Kong, and I've been talking to this with Elise as well. It's like I feel like as a human,
Yeah.
you need to have this first of experiencing new feelings, experiencing
yeah.
new atmosphere, like the vibe that a place gives you, and these different these different tempos of like just pace.
Yeah,
You have to experience
exactly,
it all.
yeah.
So I kind of grasp that feeling after growing up and maturing a bit more, and just kind of like how I see it again, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense, and I think that's a good thing. Yeah. Well, anyway, I think we've talked quite a while today.
Deep episode, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really, really good chats. Really good talking to you like this. I mean, we were gonna do Friday, but I think we were both a little too tired to talk on Friday. But hopefully next Friday we'll continue.
Yeah. I mean, these kind of talks is mainly for people to get to know us a bit better.
Yeah, exactly. Get to
And-
know who we are, and also just see how we interact with each other as well.
I think one thing is also maybe people would relate to what we say,
Yeah.
and obviously get different viewpoints from different perspective. I think that's the most important thing about why we're here and why we're discussing, because that's the point of this podcast is just to kind of talk about their different perspective, different opinions, as well as, you know, trying to relate to one and each other, so we don't feel as, you know, self alone.
Yeah, I mean, I've not really come across anything like what we're doing now, which is just talking about our experiences and stuff. And I think it might help other international people in Norwich or wherever in the world to just be able to express how they feel. And I think it's quite powerful.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys Friday next week.
Yep.
Hope you have a lovely evening or day or wherever you are, whatever time it is for you. Have a good day, have a good evening, and we'll see you again next week.
I think I confidently won this competition.
Yeah,
I
think you have. No surprise though.
I think the number will pop up here soon.
Yeah. All right. Well, see you guys next time. Have a lovely rest of your day, evening. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a good week as well.
Yeah. Have a good week and see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.